Benny showed up. You know, I've tried to connect the dots and figure out where this deer came from, figure out which one he was last year. I don't know. I think it was July 12th. I had a camera on a mineral site, was getting pictures of, you know, 5 or 6 bucks, nothing crazy. And July 12th, this buck moved in that, you know, I got a picture of him from a few different angles. I could see that mass, I could see some of that cool stuff he had going on, and you know, that deer really grabbed my interest over the others, and that's when I kind of said, hey, this might be the deer, you know, that I'm hunting this year. We have soybeans planted, they're fenced in, the deer can't get in them yet, but I'm just thinking, you know, if this deer will hang around long enough and be in this area when we take this fence down and let him in the beans, you know, I'm gonna have a really good chance to pull this buck. Benny and 3 or 4 other nice bucks are using this bean field about every afternoon. There's a house probably 400 yards from the bean field, and you know, in the past I've gotten on the roof. I can get, you know, a long ways from them with the right wind, and I can film and watch, figure out, try to see where these bucks are coming in and what they're doing. And trail cameras are great, but you know, when you can watch the deer do what they do and watch how they work through a field like that, you know, you can really, you know, try to dial in on one. The Thursday before the season, got on the roof, 20 does are in the field. As soon as the does start pouring into the field, Benny's out there. 6:30, hour and a half before dark. He comes in straight at the end of the field, which is kind of in no man's land. It's, you know, younger stuff, bedding. There's not really a way to hunt him on the way to the beans. I got to figure out a way to hunt this deer once he's there or leaving. So, and I have probably 2 or 3 sets on this bean field. After watching in person, you know, I realized that that's getting cut down to 1. I've got 1 spot. And I have this lock-on set in this big giant pecan tree right on the edge of the beans. And I've always thought, you know, I'm gonna kill a deer out of that stand. So I narrowed it down to 1 spot. You know, I've got 1 tree I can kill this deer out of in my mind. I wasn't gonna hunt this deer unless I got the right wind. He's too regular, he's there. I'm not gonna risk going in here and messing him up. Now, I'm waiting on an east wind, and I got one opening day. Get in, get settled in, and you know, it's on and off, misting a little bit, but there are deer pouring in. I mean, does, young bucks. Have 2 young bucks come from my left inside bow range. This is a killing spot. I just need him to play his part. Look up one time, there's a nice 8-pointer coming across the beans. The deer I have pictures of as well, not the deer I'm hunting, but he's a nice deer, a mature buck, and he's in the beans. You know, another 3-year-old buck comes in the beans. There's 3 or 4 bucks out here, a handful of does, and I know, you know, Benny he's here. He's gonna be here. Benny pops out on the other side of the field from this 8-pointer. They lock eyes. They, you know, roll their hair up. They are locked on each other, and they have, I mean, they got down. But that just shows, you know, these beans are pulling mature deer, you know, from all direction. Both deer run off. You know, I'm thinking, dadgummit, that's how this hunt's gonna end. I'm sitting out here. They get in a fight of all things in September, and you know, these bucks are gone. I hear them down in the woods. They're continuously fighting. And then Benny pops back out. Back behind me, there's a clover plot with 1 little window I can see, and Benny is on the tree line, and he's, you know, playing with a scrape. I see him, you know, through this cedar tree. I can make out his rack, tell it's him, and he heads across to this persimmon tree. And I felt at that moment that, you know, this thing might be meant to be, because the only way back into the beans from there is through a path that we mowed through this tall grass, you know, to give these deer a way to enter the field in bow range. My faith and hunting, you know, are very closely tied together, and a lot of them aren't easy. I hunt hard. But you know, for this year, it just felt like God patted me on the back and said, you know, this is your turn.
Bye. Double lung. Double lung. Double lung. I just double lunged him. Oh my God. I just double lunged him. I'm talking smoked. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I gotta call my dad. I just drilled him.
You just drilled him?
Drilled him. Double lungs.
The big thick one?
Yes. Whew. I have gotten to give a rundown of what has happened. I've been covered up with deer all hunt. Got in here early because there's rain coming about dark, so I figured those deer would feel that coming and get out here early, and they did. It is a miracle that I haven't spooked deer. I've had deer all around me. I just had probably the best hunt of my life. A big 8-pointer that I've been getting pictures of came out first, along with another nice deer. The deer I'm hunting, Benny, came out, had a knockdown, drag-out fight with the big 8-pointer. They both ran off, thought they were gone. Benny came back out, and some does spooked from something. They weren't looking at me, they were looking the other way, but they got nervous, ran off, field cleared. Second time he's ran off. I turn back behind me in this clover, and Benny pops back out, comes up this little lane we have mowed straight to the beans, and I drew before he even came out. He's at 23 yards, and I absolutely drilled him. He's in trouble. Unbelievable. There's the beans here, the clover back behind me, and I could see him through this window, and he started heading up this way. And we have this lane mode right here, just, you know, path of least resistance. Through before he cleared this tree right here. Shot him right there. Unbelievable.
You know, I'm by myself. I've just shot this deer. My dad's in North Dakota bird hunting. My friends are in a tree. I don't have anybody there with me. And I felt really good about the hit. Looked at the arrow. Everything looks good. Deer's bleeding right away, but I didn't, you know, press in. I just backed out, made a few phone calls. Anyway, my buddy Jordan was hunting not far from me, and he was able to make it over there a little after dark. I shot this deer with plenty of daylight left, but, you know, elected to hang out and wait on him. So he was, you know, gracious enough to come film the recovery, you know, we're picking through this blood trail, and this deer is bleeding on mud a lot. He's bleeding a lot, but it's hard to see it. And so we're picking our way, and end up finding this buck, and, you know, it's
right there.
Opening day, it just doesn't happen like that much. It doesn't get much better than that. You know, I'm sitting here holding this buck, and, you know, all I can think is it's a sweet feeling when a plan works, and the preparation and the scouting and everything, you know, directly translates to killing this deer. You know, it's pretty sweet.